Hello everybody, welcome back. I am Jack Remington. I am your host of the Jack Remington NFL channel. Got my Iron Man shirt that's shrunk. I got my Create Change hat that's too small, but I've adjusted in the back. I buy and sell hats on eBay every now and then, and I just cleaned out a storage unit last week. Found a couple more hats with the tags on them. Found a Ravens hat, and a Raiders hat, and a Green Bay hat, and a 49ers hat. My wife grabbed the 49ers hat. That's her favorite team. I was going to wear that for this video. She said, "You can't wear the 49ers hat. You're going to go against my team this week." So she's right. She's right. I put on the Create Change. The Create Change. Let me talk about that for a second before we get started here. Remember the Wildcat in the NFL? Remember when the Miami Dolphins, they were a 400 team and against the 850, 900 team, New England Patriots winning 13, 14, 12 games a year, and they went to New England and put that Wildcat and beat their ass? I remember that game. And then the copycat league, the NFL's on the copycat league. Next thing you know, Sean Payton and the Saints did it, and this team did it, and that other team did it, and they were scoring. The running backs were scoring wild. I mean, it was no touchdown passes for a couple of weeks. They were running in the end zone with the Wildcat. But guess what? The coaches got together and they started figuring out how to defend that Wildcat. Now there's no more Wildcat, or very rare if you ever see it. I can't remember last time I saw it. So they created change. Sometimes you got to change things back to the working system. Last week, did okay. I'll make this really brief and quick. This is take 4. I didn't like the other 3 takes, so try not to talk too long with certain things. We went 3 wins and 2 losses. Our first pick was the Browns. We had the Browns at the New Orleans Saints. Now, you'll be hearing me talk today a lot about momentum picks, oscillator picks, pendulum picks. Well, I was using the Browns as a momentum pick, but only one game as a momentum, and that's where I made my fatal flaw. Their opponent, the Saints, had lost 7 in a row, and they were home. And after I made the pick, I started feeling a little uneasy about it. I kept thinking, you know what? They are home, and Browns are exhaling maybe because of that big win that I picked. I put on pregame.com. I told everybody I had a decent-sized bet, a four-figure bet with the Browns and the 6.5 points. Matter of fact, I missed a chance to get 7 points. I was slow with the draw. But I took 30% and put it on the sprinkle on the money line, and I won at halftime. I won all 3. I put it on pregame on the chat board on pregame.com, and got a lot of good compliments out of that. The sports bar down the street, and I can walk to it. Don't have to worry about drinking and driving. Don't have to worry about. I'm a lightweight drinker anyway. But that was the only game they couldn't watch on the TV screens. They had every other game at that time, but they couldn't get, for some reason, the provider couldn't get the Browns-Saints game. So I scroll on ESPN.NFL and check the first downs and all that other stuff. And it was 14-14. I turn around again and it was 35-14. The Browns are losing. And I thought to myself, walking home, well, you know what? Jameis Winston must have thrown a bunch of interceptions in the fourth quarter and wheels came off. Guess what? He didn't. He threw for 395 yards and no picks. He actually had a decent game, but you should have figured the Saints had lost 7 in a row. They fired the head coach and the widow of Mr. Benson, 77-year-old socialite, a pretty decent person, I understand. I read her press conference, and she's taking a direct interest in the team, and she somehow, just by showing up for 15 minutes at the clubhouse to energize the team, it worked. So that was a bad pick on my part. We won with the Steelers, we won with the Lions, we won with the Seahawks, and we'll talk real quick about the Lions and Seahawks. Lions, you're printing money with this team. And since Dan Campbell's taking over the team, we're just going against the spread. There are 48 wins and like 13 or 14 losses and a couple pushes. Since Dan Campbell's taking over that team, you're printing money. And now turn around, it was 21-3 in the first 7 minutes. Every time the Lions got the ball, they scored. Jacksonville, they mailed it in. The Seahawks, I only saw 2 people. I was one of them out of 111 people in that one pool that picked the Seahawks plus the 5 of that, whatever hell points it was. We were winning by half a point before they scored the touchdown. That final drive of Geno Smith moved down the field at Los Angeles. I like Matthew Stafford. I like the Rams. I like Sean McVay. I like Geno Smith. I remember him with West Virginia Mountaineers. And you guys know that I got my picks and I got a couple scribble notes. That's it. I just throw it down like that. If I need it, I'll pick it up. I don't have a script. I don't have a teleprompter. You can see me looking up over on the side. And some of the viewers, they like that. They don't want a script. They like me like this. So this is what you're going to get. But Geno Smith, when he was in the West Virginia Mountaineers, man, I just try to find a game just to watch him. I mean, I thought he was an energizing quarterback. He was a pretty good quarterback. And then for 10 years, he's on the bench. And then he's come back from Seattle again. Now, I don't like the Seahawks since they got rid of Pete Carroll. And you have to remember, I sent my daughter to USC, so I'm a USC fan. I went to UCLA, but still, and I got free tickets every year to go to the rivalry between UCLA and USC. And USC was always stomped UCLA back when Pete Carroll was the coach for USC. But one time they came within 5 points and won a lot of money because I was getting 18 or 19 more, however points it was. They came within 5 points when the year USC was unbeaten. So pat myself on the hat for that. The Seahawks, I just had that feeling it was a survival pick because those teams are all bunched up together. We'll talk about Arizona in a few minutes. I mean, they're all bunched together. I think Arizona's ahead by one game. The rest of them either 5-5 or 4-5 or 4 whatever. And any one of these 4 teams can win that division, and they will be the only participant in postseason, obviously, because 9-8 might be the winning record for that division. It could be 8-9. The Seahawks, I was getting the points, and that was a numbers pick, and it paid off. I got lucky. The last game, the Bengals. Not so lucky. Stayed a good case. Matter of fact, I did better with that pick on my video than the other 4 picks explaining it. And people agree with me the way I explained it. But it was a do or die it was a survival pick. It was the wounded animal pick for the Bengals. And Chargers hadn't really beat anybody. And I forgot who was favored, who wasn't favored. But I remember taking the Bengals. It wasn't that much of a big of a spread, which should have told me something. You got to read the numbers, folks. But it was 24-3, getting ready to go to the halftime, or 24-6. The Chargers were pulling away in the second quarter, and the Bengals had no answer. So, okay, well, with 3-2 for the weekend, and my wife said, let's go to dinner, let's go to Stonefire. So we go to Ventura. It must have been really a long halftime or a long third quarter or something like that. By the time I come back, my daughter's watching my dogs. And by the way, you said, your Bengals are still playing. They are? So I turned on the TV, and McPherson's getting ready to get this field goal, and he missed it for the Bengals. I thought, oh my God. But they went all that way to get back in this game, and now I can win this game. And they even got the ball back, but they couldn't score. But the Chargers got the ball, and we did the field and got a touchdown. So, and they look good doing it too. I think Cincinnati just ran out of gas. I mean, the Chargers made it look really easy in the last couple minutes of that game, which worries me for the future for the Bengals. But 3 wins, 2 losses, we'll take it. Now let's get to the games. This is what you're here for. The first pick, against my better judgment, although money is starting to come in on the Bears, which I still don't understand why, and the line's going from 3 to 3.5 to 4. As of right now, film time, it's Minnesota Vikings, the road team favorite at Chicago Bears. We never use Thursday night game for the similar contest, and it's correct for all the right reasons. I don't have time to explain that for now. We just know it's correct. If Fish saying, I'll tip my hat off to you. I remember that on every take. Didn't forget you. You do an outstanding job. And he's a great guy to talk to. Great guy to stay in contact with. And we never talk politics, by the way. How about that, pregame.com followers? We don't need to. So we're friends because we're friends. The best reason of all. Well, anyway, we like the NFL. We love the NFL. Let me clarify that. They'll say, oh, Caleb Williams he's learned to he's not holding on the ball long, and he's going to play into Minnesota's strength, which is probably true. But what they're not thinking is, how would the Chicago Bears counter that? Okay, they should have won last week in Green Bay. They should have had that game won, and they missed the field goal at the end. But this Caleb Williams guy looked pretty good to me. Like I said, we had every game on the TV screen there except for the Browns-Saints game. Well, they had the Bears. Minnesota. I thought, I keep hearing how bad this guy is. He's looking pretty good to me. And cutting through Green Bay's defense like butter. I thought, well, this is pretty damn good. Chicago's probably got the best running game, in my opinion. They got a pretty decent running game, and they did well last week. They've done well last couple of weeks. If they can get that running game going against Minnesota, that could be Minnesota's weakness. They can beat them that way. Or keep the game close, keep the game low. Where it is a missed field goal game or a missed extra point game or 2-point conversion game. We're going to take the Chicago Bears and upset. And by the way, there's only 13 games to pick with all the buys. We never use Thursday Night Football. So, and 8 of these teams are home underdogs. Like I keep telling you, home underdogs have not done well this year, and I keep picking them and they keep losing. We're going to take a chance on this home underdog here. The Bears, Vikings, the road team has won the last 6 out of 10. They beat them on the 23rd of November last year. They beat Minnesota 12-10 at Minnesota. But before that, the Vikings have won 5 times in a row, including 3 times at Chicago. So the road team likes to beat up the other. They like to beat up the host team, but maybe that's going to turn this time. Maybe. So we'll see. Let's go to the second game. We got the Miami Dolphins as a home team. They're hosting New England Patriots. Miami minus 7.5. I saw some 8s online. So the line is moving up. The money's coming in on. The money is starting to come in on New England a little bit here. So it's 54 to 46% on the one side. Let me look on the other one to make it really quick here, folks. I mean, I had to set this right here. Yeah, it's Miami minus 8. It's 55-45 on the bet side. 60% money line versus 40% New England. I mean, 40% for New England money line seems a little high to me. So it makes me feel a little better about this pick. The Fish Tank Soup Simulator, we're actually gaining line value of 1 point. So it's Miami Dolphins minus 7. Miami's won the last 3 in a row. They've won the last 8 out of 10 straight up. But here's the kicker: the last 9 out of 10 they've won against the spread, no matter how big that spread may be. There was a Miami minus 7.5 and they covered it. They beat them 31-17. Miami was getting 17.5 against New England. They had Tom Brady's last game against them in 2019, and they won straight up 27-24. A big upset. And the more I started looking at this game, I started remembering it. Miami is still alive. They're scrapping. I mean, now they're going to leapfrog the Jets. We all know what happened to the Jets. New England's not going to go anywhere in the postseason, are they? Do you really think New England's got a chance? Well, this channel's not for you. They're not going to make it. But Miami has a chance in a black and blue conference. AFC, a lot of teams are still in it. And they looked pretty good the last few weeks. And bringing Tua back made a difference in the world. And I just think that they know they need to get through this game here. They know they need to get past a team that they're supposed to beat up on. What's bad about this team, Miami team, they play on Thanksgiving night, they're at Green Bay. So maybe they're looking ahead to that. A team that's in last place like New England, they're not looking ahead to their opponent, which is the Indianapolis Colts. They're not even thinking about them. So Miami could be looking ahead, which worries me a little bit. I don't think the look ahead is that significant in the spot. Miami knows they need this game to stay in. If they lose this game, they'll mail it in. They'll quit on this one. And I forgot something about the Minnesota Vikings Chicago Bears game. It just popped in my head. Like I said, I don't have a script. It just pops in my head. This is the Minnesota's 3rd straight road game, and it's Chicago Bears' 3rd straight home game. So Minnesota on the road 3 times in a row. The Bears 3 times home in a row. After this game, the Minnesota Vikings, they're home. They got 3 home games in a row. They're hosting Arizona next week. They're hosting on December 1st. They're hosting Atlanta Falcons December 8th. And on December 16th, they're hosting the rematch with Chicago Bears. So they'll have 3 straight home games. They may be looking ahead to that Arizona game. Now, the Bears got to go on the road. Okay? The Bears play on Thanksgiving. They play at Detroit. So they may be looking ahead to that, which worries me some. On December 8th, they're at San Francisco. And we'll be talking about 49ers later, too. And on December 16th, the Bears go with the rematch at Minnesota. So I have never, ever seen the paradigm model or dichotomy situation where one team of a division rivalry has gone on the road 3 straight times for the 3rd game, and the other division opponent is home for the 3rd game. I've never seen much information on that, and I'll try to get some within next week if I can. I just wanted to touch on that really quick. So New England, Miami, we're taking the Dolphins as a numbers pick and a momentum pick. Let's go to the next pick. This is pick number 3. We're taking the Denver Broncos minus 5.5. On Fish Tank's Soup Similar contest, we're only giving up 5.5 as road chalk. As of right now on the betting lines, this line has also gone up. So we're getting some value. We got the Broncos minus 6.5. Well, we're getting a full point line value. We'll take it. Denver's the healthiest team in football. They only got 6 players on the list, and one of them, the defensive end, is Zeke Allen. He's questionable. He's probably going to play. The one linebacker is out, and this other guy's got this B. Jones. He's got an abdomen injury. One of the guards is injured, but he was full practice, so I think he's going to play. The Raiders got some people on the injured report list. Although the one name I'm looking for is Crosby. He's off the injured list, but he didn't have a good game last week. He didn't look. He didn't look all that good. He's probably playing hurt, and they're all playing hurt. But this game here, this Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders, the Denver's hosting Cleveland next week, so, but I don't think they're looking ahead. This is a heated rivalry. The Las Vegas Raiders, their next game, they're at Kansas City for a rematch with Kansas City. Now, they covered against the Chiefs by 1.5. It's kind of a dogfight, so maybe they're looking forward. Maybe let's see if we can knock this team off. And Denver should have beat the Chiefs the other week. We're worried about this game here. Head-to-head, okay, the Broncos got them early in the season. They beat them 34-18 at Denver, only 2.5-point chalk, because Denver wasn't really all that hot. They weren't really all that good, and the Raiders were still in contention at that time. But before that game on October the 8th, October 6th this year, the Raiders had won 8 times in a row, and they have covered the spread 9 times in a row until this year. So the Las Vegas Raiders have usually had the Broncos numbers. I think it turns around this week. Broncos are playing pretty good ball. They laid an egg against the Ravens. Okay, we had them when they were at the Saints. We had them against Carolina. We had them against Baltimore, but they laid an egg. They lost 41-10. They looked like they quit. They looked like they mailed it in the second half. The look on Sean Payton's face, he was not happy. Covered against the spread against the Chiefs, and they should have won that game. And they just demolished the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, so the defense is coming into form. Their defense always had been kind of at least above average, but they're starting to play really well. And they got team speed on that defense, which impresses me. And like it or not, on Sean Payton, he's got divorce problems. He's got child support. He's got this. He's got that. And lady said this about him. And maybe he is a chowderhead when he gets in the bar or whatever. Maybe he is egotistical. Maybe he is all these bad things they say about him, but he's a good head coach. And I can see why the Walton family paid him the big money he wanted. He demanded to come out of retirement. And this might be a good move, and I just think that this is a momentum pick. And we're laying the 5.5. I just think that the defense can stop the Raiders. I like the pick. I'm sticking with it. We'll see. Pick number 4, a momentum pick, but in a different manner. These two teams, the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks, I'm only laying a point. I like my chances, and like I said in the other videos, these are the games you got to get right. You got to get the note that you pick them game -0.5, -1. You got to get these games, and I've gotten them mostly wrong this year, but I like my chances. I like the Arizona Cardinals here. I think they're going to do it. Case in point, head-to-head, they've played last 5 games. Seahawks have won them all. Seahawks have won the last 7 out of 10. But it's a mixed bag. It's 50-50 with covering against the spreads, what we're all about. We're against the spread bettors. This whole thing is against the spread. A lot of people could pick 60% blindfolded when you hear the teams if you're a blind person. But against the spread, it's a different game. And we all know that. I just think that Arizona, they know they're in first place, and they want to keep it. They like that first place feel. They're going to fight like hell, and as long as they got Kyler Murray healthy, I mean, he's a one-man wrecking crew. I think he's a better runner than Geno Smith, although Geno Smith does have wheels. And I will say, I used to love Geno Smith as a West Virginia Mountaineer. I've watched to try to find the game in the sports world just to watch him. He was fantastic, and he sat on the bench for 11 years, didn't even throw a pass. But he's reemerged from the dead, and there's a part of me that loves Geno Smith's newfound success because he's paid his dues, folks. That man has paid his dues. But I don't like Seattle since they got rid of Pete Carroll. I don't remember. I'm not going to get into the details about the Seattle Seahawks team. It's a team I don't follow very well. But I did follow Pete Carroll because he was the head coach at USC, and I sent my daughter to USC. I'm still paying on some of that, by the way. Got one more year left to pay on that. I used to get free tickets every year to the USC-UCLA rivalry here at the Coliseum, and I won a lot of money. And most of the kids paid me. Well, I shouldn't say kids, but most of the people paid me. But they were 18.5-point favorites one year over USC. USC was unbeaten. They were going for number 1 for the title. And UCLA, they were a 4-5 or a 400 team. Not quite 500, but they were okay. And I was getting on the points. It was 26-21, on our toes, screaming as loud as we could, man, to get that ball in the end zone. They couldn't do it. That was quite a game, and I won all that money. I mean, I was playing a number. I was playing a good number. I knew they were good enough to score. And USC's Achilles heel was their defense. We're taking the Arizona Cardinals. I think they're going to stick it to Seattle at Seattle. I don't like taking road teams, but road teams have been kicking the shit out of the home teams for the last 3 years. So we're going to do that. Last pick. The video's too long, and this is the one I'm probably going to get the most heat about. But I'm starting to feel really good about this for only one reason. Because when Fishang's Soup came out the other week, it was Green Bay Packers home hosting 49ers, and their 49ers getting 2 points. Well, guess what? That line is now up. And I want to click on, make sure I got it right. That line is now changed to 6. It is San Francisco. They're getting 6 points. Why? Why are they getting? What happened between 2 points and 6 points? We're getting 4 points of line value. I will take any game, favorite or dog, good or bad team, if this happens. So this line is fixed on the Fishang Soup contest. There was an injury with the San Francisco 49ers guy. Here's the headline on the NFL.com. News. Niners quarterback Brock Purdy, shoulder, ruled out Sunday versus Packers, semicolon. Brandon Allen to start. I never heard of Brandon Allen. I have no idea who he is. Never heard of him. Haven't a clue. I'm guessing he's a rookie quarterback. Okay, I don't have time to do all this stuff. I'm just telling you that I think that with Brock Purdy's out, he's their system caretaking quarterback. He's good at what he does. I'm not knocking the guy. I think he's limited. He's never going to be Tom Brady, but he's good enough to win some games. He's proven himself to be a good leader on that team. It's kind of a Cinderella story within a Cinderella story, or a Cinderella 2.0, whatever you want to call it. And so I kind of like the guy. I mean, we're all underdogs at some point in our lives, and when we get our chance, we want to do good. That's human nature, and you want to root for that underdog. But unfortunately, this isn't the Love Boat, the TV series that my wife's aunt's husband worked on as a director of photography. This is real life, and real life, we want winners, and I just think Green Bay's going to kick the shit out of the 49ers, and I understand Bosa is not playing either, the guy for the 49ers. That's a huge loss on their defense. Deebo Samuels is still playing hurt. Kittle is questionable. Kittle's probably not going to, I don't think he played last week. And when you look at the head-to-head, it's because of the playoff implications. They've faced each other 10 times the last 20 years, whatever. And it's a good division rivalry. It's a good thing for our sport. The last 10 years, it's been twofers. What I mean by twofers, descending to ascending order, the 49ers won twice in a row in 2013 and 2014. Then in 2015 to 2018, Green Bay won twice in a row. One of them was a playoff game. And I thought one of them was a playoff game before the 49ers won. In 2019, 2020, the 49ers won twice. One of them was a playoff game. In 2020 and 2021, Green Bay won twice. In 2022 and 2024, this was a playoff game. The January 2024, San Francisco won. They beat them twice. So now it's Green Bay's turn to go back on a two-game tear. So 49ers twice, Green Bay twice, 49ers twice, Green Bay twice, 49ers twice, now beat Green Bay twice. That's the pattern I discovered here. And it's a mixed bag against the spread that I think they're exactly 5-5, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're 5 wins, 5 losses last 10 games. Because they don't play in the same division, but they do play in the same conference, but they still play every so many years. And half these games I just mentioned to you, they were playoff games. You got to look at the injury report. And I see 49ers, George Kittle, but he did practice this week, so he might play. But Brock Purdy is out. Brock Purdy out. It doesn't say questionable, doubtful, highly likely, rest, non-injury, football-related illness. No, he's out. Okay, he's out. Nick Bosa, the defensive lineman, out. He did not participate in practice. He's probably not going to play. This Kay Givens guy, this defensive lineman, out, groin, did not participate in practice. He's not going to play. We're getting 4 points on line value. We're only giving up 2 points. I smell at least a field goal game here. We got ourselves a winner. I like my ticket. Thank you for watching. I'll cut some of this out. The video's too long. Always great to be an American. Always great to be a fan of the NFL. Stay within your means. Don't overdo it. And enjoy the games. And if I don't see you between now and the next video, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you.